Hello everyone, it's Nikki, Batgirl D'Angelo for another Learning to Fly with Nikki. Oh boy, I keep changing the name and all different things with this. Well, we have just about 2 hours of flight time. Let's take a look at this before we actually take off and see. So when we go down here, we can look at statistics and we can see what we have. We have 1.55 hours of total flight time, and our solo time is 1.51. We have 1.05 hours to get, or 1.1 hours? Let's just say we have about 1.1 hours to get. So let's go into a free flight, okay? We're not allowed to fly too far away from the airport when you have a light pilot's license, from what I see. These are our two planes that we have. We have not flown the Piper Cherokee, and we're not going to. We are going to fly the PA-18. We're going to fly the PA-18. I'm going to select the livery. I think I like, let's see. Don't want that. I think we're going to fly with this livery this time. And this time, we are going to take a flight in my old hometown. We are going to reenact my first solo flight, and I'm going to talk to you about this. Alright, so what we are going to do is we're going to go to Long Island. We're going to go to Long Island MacArthur Airport, and we are going to fly to Gabreski, and we're going to fly back. And that's what we are going to do. So this is a flight I would make often. And this is a flight, well, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's clear that. Is there a way to clear this? Yes, there is. Alright, let's do a different flight. Let's go to, let's see, that is New Haven. Bridgeport. We are going to do that, and I am going to save this flight for when I actually get my solo flight, and we'll talk a little bit about this, okay? Because this one's a big one for me, right here. This was my first solo. I flew from here to here. You see this over here, Bayport? We'll talk about that when it comes time to do the private pilot check ride. There are so Mattatuck. Oh my god, I'm just remembering all these different airports. So let's go into this flight. We are going to fly across the Long Island Sound, talk a little bit about that, and then we are going to land at Bridgeport. We're going to do a full stop and then come back to Long Island MacArthur Airport and land. Let's see what airport runway they put us on. It should be 33 left or right. If it's anything other than 33 left or right, it is not portraying what GA aircraft we're taking off on. Let's take a look. Ooh, it's nighttime. How about that? Ooh, I wonder if this... we'll do some night flying. Whatever. Well... Are we allowed to do nighttime? We're not supposed to be doing nighttime flight, so we have to lie about this. Okay, so we're going to do flight. We have our aircraft. We're going to start over. We're going to go to here. We're going to go next. We're going to go away from our home. We're going to pretend I'm living back on Long Island again. And we are going to select MacArthur, not Sikorsky, and then back again. And then we are going to select clear weather, time of day. How do you change time of day? Okay, time of day. We are going to go to dawn. We're going to go to daytime, okay? Time of day is daytime, and we are going to make this flight. Sorry about this, folks. It's not a long flight. Way back when we used to call this the $50 burger, because there was a place to eat right when you would land over at Sikorsky. Of course, Sikorsky, you would know the name, right? So let's see. We are on runway 6. 6 and 24. 6 and 24. 6 and 24. My guess is that we really want to be on 33 right and 33 left. Can I make this zoom out? Let's see, there's 6. And, I'm sorry about this. I'm just thinking. 3-3 right and left. I'm just trying to decide if this is what I want to do. Alright, let's go ahead and just make this work for us. So I'm centering my joysticks. I'm going to go forward. And we are going to take off. And we've got positive climb. Keeping it at that altitude. Good. And we are going to clear the airport. When we come back, we're going to land on 3-3 right. Let's keep it over the runway as we take off, keeping at 70 to 75 knots. So they come back a little. Alright, we're at 1,000 feet. Where are we in relative to the ground? Alright, coming a little bit off course. 1,000 feet. Pattern altitude, okay, and we are going to turn to the north. Alrighty. What we want to do is climb up to 5,000 feet. The reason being, if we're going to cross the Long Island Sound, what we want to do is be just about, and this should be about right. 3-3 should be about right, right? A little bit off. But the reason we want to be at 5,000 feet is if you lost engine over the Long Island Sound, you wanted to have enough of a altitude to be able to glide into either side of, well, either shoreline. Oh boy, I can't believe that my voice issues have made me so stupid. So, I went to Dowling College when I was younger. I went for aeronautics and management. I went from 1984 to about 1991. Yes, that's a long time. But it's because I was also working full-time at the time. Okay? And I was in the fraternity Alpha Eta Rho. And occasionally, we would do some things that weren't right. We'd fly up to Connecticut and buy some grain alcohol for our fraternity events. Oh, that wasn't good. But really, what we would fly up there for, almost all the time, was the $50 burger. There was a place to eat there, and there was a place to eat over at Suffolk County Airport. So I had two places that were actually where we can get this $50 burger. And really it was $50 because the flight would cost you about $50 plus, and that would be with the burger. Pretty cool. But the actual scenery here on Long Island was actually so beautiful. It was really beautiful. And we were flying over Port Jefferson Harbor, which is right there. See the smokestacks and stuff? That's important. Right here, we're going over Smith's Point. Not Smith Point, Smith Haven Park. Possibly. I think that's over that way. Maybe Sunken Meadow Park. We'll be passing over SUNY Stony Brook. That's essentially where we're going towards right now. I'm going to go across the Sound. And we are going to land at Sikorsky, which is Bridgeport, and we won't talk about Bridgeport. So we're still climbing at 70, and I love the way this aircraft is able to be trimmed. All right, let's see how we're doing. This is going to be a nice little flight. I love my youth. It was awesome. I had a great time. I also love being the age I am today and being able to relive some of these moments with y'all. Start leveling off. Okay, as we push our nose forward. Gain 90 knots. Pull back the throttle to about 2100. Do it slowly. Let's keep that coming. Drop the nose a little. We'll be at 90. And that should be good. Now I think we would be at a different altitude for this flight. I gotta go back and look at my regs and figure out the whole, which one it is, odd or even altitudes for which way you travel. Ooh, there's some weird clouds over there too. Okay, we're gaining some altitude. Let's get that 90 knots back. Let's push that nose down. It's Cherokee 180 off of our, just about our 1 o'clock position. Okay, good. There's our 90 knots. Should have everything good. I was thinking about buying an A2A Cessna 172 just to give you an idea of what real flight training is about, but I think I'll do that after I get my room set up. I am redoing my whole studio/bedroom. There it is, and there is Port Jeff Harbor right there. Ooh, the nights I spent over there. And see that little cutout just, it's hard to do. It's just coming over the right wing now. That's the cove. We used to call it Pirate Cove. There's actually an area over there called Belterre. Foghat had a house up there. And my sister-in-law actually lived there. Yeah, rich people. Belterre was a very rich neighborhood. We had our prom in their country club. Belterre, amazing place. I grew up in Port Jefferson Station, not Port Jefferson. Port Jefferson Station is south of the tracks. And everything that has to do with being north and south of the tracks, if you think about it, is about right with Port Jeff Station and Port Jeff. If you were south of the tracks, you generally didn't have the money. I know that a few of us actually took to liking the Who song Teenage Wasteland because that was Bubba O'Reilly, but that was essentially what we were about in our town. It was kind of like Wayne's World, Aurora. And I was in Aurora at one point, and I could tell you this, it was very much like the town I grew up on on Long Island. Alright, so all these are rocky beaches over here, so you see that there's Port Jeff Harbor, you can see the smokestacks, and then you see that little inlet just to the east of it. That's Mount Sinai Harbor. And that was the beach that we used to go to. That was Cedar Beach over there. Oh, the days I spent there, the nights I spent there, the weeks I spent there. Oh, the time I spent there. I loved growing up on Long Island. I kind of wish I could go back, but most of the people I care about are not there anymore. Some of them have moved off to Connecticut, some have moved to Toronto, and some have moved down to Pennsylvania, just a different place now. Long Island's a very expensive place to live, but beautiful and fun to live. Fun to live there. I used to take the ferry across to Bridgeport from there, so this is just another way to get around and see where we're going. Alright, so we are going to be looking at landing over there, so we're going to turn over to the east. We're going to add a little bit of throttle. Actually, we're going to pull back a little because maybe it does need a little throttle. Just to maintain the altitude here. Love Long Island Sound. A beautiful, beautiful day. And such an odd aircraft for me to be flying since almost all of my flight training was done in Cessnas when I was flying in this area. I figured this would be a good flight to make to reenact a lot of the things I've done. So there's Bridgeport off to the right. After we make the middle of the sound, which we're not even over, we're just passing over. Oh, we're way over here. But after we make the middle of the sound, we will start our descent and then turn into Sikorsky, which will be off to our east. I don't know what the active runway is over there, and I don't believe there's any way to get names. Not right now. Traffic control. That might be good. Nearest airport list. Achievement unlocked. Radio waves. So there we are. Sikorsky. Sikorsky ate us.
Bridgeport Airport information. 130 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility greater than 20 miles. Tech condition clear. Temperature 15. Dew point 5. Altimeter 992.
Runway 6. Okay.
Language departing runway.
So what we're going to want to do is 6 plus 9.
All aircraft back hold short instruction. Advise controller on
It's
initial
150.
contact
It'll be perpendicular.
Bridgeport Airport information.
So we're going to be landing off. You can see it right in that way. Okay.
Greater than 20 miles.
So what we want to do now is we want to talk to them.
Temperature 15.
Bridgeport Tower, Piper, November 158, Foxtrot, Juliet is 1 miles south with Tango to land.
Piper, November 158, Foxtrot, Juliet, Bridgeport Tower. Make straight in, runway 6. Altimeter 2992.
Alright. And
Fly straight in, runway 6,
we're
Piper
going to start.
8,
Now we're just at 90 knots. We're going to pull back the throttle. We have creeped up a little bit, but over Long Island Sound, that's okay. We should maintain speed as we start our descent. We're going to descend at about 1500 RPM. And there it is. So we're going to make a straight-in approach. We want to keep that 90 knot descent. And we will make a straight in approach. You can see the beacon kind of sort of off to the right. Let's just make sure that we're looking at the right place, and it looks like we are. And we will be turning to 060 degrees, so we are going to make a straight in approach on runway 6. Runway 6 will be in this direction, so essentially we are heading, we're kind of like on a long base right now, so we're going to be landing this way over here, which is along the coastline of Connecticut. So I had always been talking about how the ATC was not in this game, but I found it, and I think that this is going to be important for the rest of our time that we're doing these different, well, the different flight training that we're going to do here. Alright, so what altitude are we at right now? Okay, just passing through 4,000, so that's not bad. We could probably make the coastline from here. If not, we could probably land on that barge. That would be fun, wouldn't it? So we're going to just make this smaller. And we're going to put it down here for now, so it doesn't get in your way. Ooh, how much of the old flight simulator has found its way over here. Alrighty, so still descending at 90 knots. We'd probably fall very short of the coastline if we were to lose an engine here. That's okay. We trust our mechanic. Look at that. We even got the wake. Pretty cool. There's clouds over there. A little bit of obscured sky over there. Coming in on base. Alright, what's our altitude? 3,000. Going down towards 2. Alright. Okie dokie. Not a bad flight for today, if you ask me. Pretty up there. Of course, we had to reset the parameters of this flight. The texture of the glass is just annoying right now. They need to redo a lot of these textures with 4K textures, and I am very disappointed with the aliasing on the shadows. It is
Piper
not
8
good.
Foxtrot Juliet cleared to land. Runway 6.
Thank you. We're still coming in. We see runway 6. Can we acknowledge that? Acknowledge
Cleared
landing
to land.
clearance.
Runway 6. Piper 8 Foxtrot Juliet.
Right. 29902. I wonder if these are things we unlock later. Now, we just unlocked an achievement for using ATIS, and it is something that we will start using from now on. Airport terminal something service. Alright, so just about 1,000 feet. We're going to be there soon. We're going to start to level off. In a little bit, we're going to keep it down. And you can see we're almost ready to turn on a long final. Alrighty. We're doing well here now, so we're going to bring our throttle back up to 1900 in just a little bit. And start turning towards the airport when it's time. Let's start our level out. More than 100. Let's start our level out. 1900. Alright. Keep it up. We're going to start going along final. We're cleared to land, which is good. We can start seeing the airport coming into the correct orientation. Okay, and just about now I want to start descending. We're a little high, so I'm going to pull back to about 1,500. I'm going to trim for 70 knots. Let's hold the nose up. And there's our 1,400. Okay, there's our 1,400. We're going to add flaps. Let's move the... Ooh, look at that boat down below. That's pretty cool. Alright, we're on a long final, a little high. I want to keep this 60 knots. We want to go a little bit faster. I don't remember this looking like a floodplain back when I was flying here. I don't remember the water being so close to the runway as it is there. The nose drop to 60. Come on. That's right. Good. Increase our descent rate. I want to pull this back. Let the nose come down. Don't stall. Let the nose come down. Good girl. Okay. Gonna lower the nose. And maintain 500 to 750 feet per second. I mean per minute. Feet per second. We'd be like a smoking hole in no time. Frame rate's pretty good in this game. Alright, so there's not really any taxiways in this airport. Taxiing for takeoff is going to be kind of difficult. Well, we'll do a mid-field takeoff. That's what we'll do. We'll spin around and take the field. Might have to go down the field a little bit. We want some speed. We're a little bit too slow. Come on. Keep that nose down. Keep that nose down. We want to squeak this one by. Alright, We're gonna squeak this one out.
Piper 8, Foxtrot, Juliet, exit runway when able.
Alright, exit runway when able. Okay. That sounds like right there. It was like almost midfield. Well, it's not midfield, but it's pretty far up. So we'll pretend we're going to get a burger now. We'll take off and head south towards Long Island and Iceland MacArthur Airport.
Piper 8, Foxtrot, Juliet, exit runway when able.
Let's see if it's smart enough
Piper
to know
8,
when we're done.
Foxtrot, Juliet, contact ground on 121.9.
Going to 121.9. Piper 8, Foxtrot, Juliet. Bridgeport ground. Piper, November 158, Foxtrot, Juliet. Request taxi to parking.
Okay, we're going to pretend.
November 158, Foxtrot, Juliet. Taxi to General Aviation Parking using taxiway Bravo Alpha.
Alright.
Taxiing to General Aviation Parking via taxiway Bravo Alpha. Piper 8, Foxtrot, Juliet.
We're using progressive taxi just like in real life. And we are going to go in taxi. See, sometimes I find it easier to taxi from outside these aircraft. It's a little bit of clipping, a little bit of texture pop. It's another runway over there, so I'm sure that General Aviation Parking is over here somewhere. Alright, let's see what other options we have here. Alright, so we're here. Let's see what other options we have as we turn this aircraft around and stop it. Well, it's not letting us turn off. Well, that's where it's saying progressive taxi is. Let's see, turn it around. It's pointing us this way. Alright, we parked. Okay, good. Taxi takeoff options.
Bridgeport ground. Piper, November 158, Foxtrot, Juliet. Ready to taxi. Straight out departure with uniform.
Piper, November 158, Foxtrot, Juliet. Taxi to Enholchoto, runway 6 via taxiway Alpha Bravo. Contact tower on 120.9 when ready.
Taxiing. Hold short. Runway 6 using taxiway Alpha Bravo. Piper
Alright,
8,
so it wants us to use this.
Juliet.
Wants us to use this right here. We're being a little bit quick with our taxi. We're pretending we just had our burger and going back up again. Let's go see. I'm so used to having a nose wheel, not this tail wheel. Okay, this should be. Yeah, this is the right. We're gonna hold short. We're probably gonna do a mid departure. Mid-runway departure. Alright, we're going to hold short. Let's do a run up real quick. Okay, we're good. Let's test our... Okay, we're good there. What about behind us? Well, we can't see it. Can we see from the outside? Yes, we can. Not that we'd get out, but we can do this. So we've got our controls working. Let's go back to center. Let's contact Bridgeville Tower.
Bridgeport Tower, Piper, November 158, Foxtrot, Juliet, ready for departing straight out at runway 6.
Piper, November 158, Foxtrot, Juliet, cleared for takeoff, runway 6. Departing
Cleared for
straight
takeoff.
out, approved.
Cleared for takeoff. So we're going to take this mid-runway departure.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 6,
And
Piper 8, Foxtrot, Juliet.
because we're in a Piper, this won't be an issue. Because we're in this aircraft, it won't be an issue. Alright. Alright, good. 70 knots. And we should be fine on this one. Runway 6. We're fine. We've got the 75 knots. We've made 1,000 feet. Almost. Let's wait. There's our 1,000 feet. We're going to turn. Continue our climb out. Alrighty. And we're definitely going to want to go a little bit different from the way home.
Piper 8, Foxtrot, Juliet, you are leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
New York approach, Piper, November 158, Foxtrot, Juliet is type, Piper, 1 miles east of Bridgeport. Request flight following.
Piper, November 158, Foxtrot, Juliet, New York approach. Squawk 5113.
Squawk 5113, Piper 8, Foxtrot, Juliet.
Piper 8, Foxtrot, Juliet, radar contact 1 miles southeast of Bridgeport, 2500, altimeter 2992.
Copy, Piper 8, Foxtrot, Juliet.
Alright, in a real aircraft, we would have been putting in our squawk code. Just
New
don't know how
York
to do that
approach,
here.
Piper 8, Foxtrot, Juliet. Cancel flight following.
Piper 8, Foxtrot, Juliet,
Alright.
New York approach. Cancellation received. Squawk 1200. Frequency change approved.
I don't know how to do this. It's not clickable, which is not fair. Alright, so that's not clickable. Not good. So we're going to continue to climb with 4K. And we're going to get to 5,500 and then start to descend on the other side of the Long Island Sound. Let's take a look at this, see what it looks like behind us. See you later, Connecticut. Connecticut River. Through London. We're going to Long Island. We're going to Isla MacArthur. Alrighty. And we will start to worry about contacting Iceland as we get closer. It's going to be quite a while, and we definitely want to be going more like 230 degrees. So we're going to need to come on to runway 6, which means we're going to need to come over about Oakdale, Long Island. Yeah.
Piper 79 Quebec. Contact Bradley. Approach on 127 decimal 8.
Going to 127
That's not us.
8. Piper 79 Quebec.
Right, coming up on 5500. We're a mile up now. How about that? Alright. So this is where you have to be to join the Mile High Club, boys and girls. Start our level off. Let that now we want to keep that vertical speed down. That speed build up. Start pulling back the throttle. Valve the plugs. We would also be adjusting mixture at this point. These are all things that you want to do in the aircraft. Bring it back up again. Get to 90 knots. Come on. Good. Nose come up just a little bit. Lower the nose. Be at 2100. Right there. Right there. Right there. Okie dokie. Let's put that friction lock on so we don't start creeping up. Speaking of creeping up, there we go. Alrighty, so what our idea is that if we're going to land on runway 6, which is going to be taking us this way, right there, we want to head for this area over here, which will be right around Oakdale, Long Island. And then we turn up towards Isla MacArthur. So we want to be drifting a little bit to the east. We want to be just about.
November 3, 6, 8, 7.
I wish I could like grab that and show you. This isn't a really good GPS. The instruments in this are not very good.
New York approach. Roger. Altimeter.
Nothing's clickable. Oh yeah, it is. So we want to aim for this area over here. Aim for this area over here so we can turn in and go towards the airport. Alright, so shift 3. After we make the airport, we're going to drop to after we make the coastline, we're going to drop to 2,500 feet.
New York approach. Piper November 815.
Piper November 815
we're listening to the different
New York
people
approach.
making their
Roger.
contacts with New York approach.
Altimeter 2992.
New York departure. Piper November 3279 Quebec with you.
Piper November 3279 Quebec. New York departure. Roger. Altimeter 2992.
All the different calls that you'll get while you're flying. I'd always listen to the radio so I know where people are, so if I hear that they're near me, I can see them. Constantly looking at my instruments, constantly looking outside. That's weird.
Piper
doing
07 Whiskey. Traffic is 2 o'clock, 4 miles at 6,500. Piper Archer. Report them in sight.
6500
Piper
would be up top.
87 Yankee. Traffic is 3 o'clock, 4 miles at 6,400. Piper Archer. Report them in sight.
Piper 87 Yankee, grab the traffic.
Piper 0.
Okay, we're almost at the coastline. I believe we're going in the right direction right now. And we are. We're going right where I want to go. You don't really get a full view of Long Island this way. We will shoot south and then turn ourselves in. So we are flying right now. Not bad. I feel like we bolted out to Bridgeport and then it's taking forever to get back. Look at this poor little guy. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, the days of flying on Long Island. It was so nice. And this is what I'm talking about. Look at this. This is why flying on Long Island was so nice. I mean, you always had the beaches to fly around. Ooh, that Shoreham nuclear power plant over there. You see it? I don't think it ever actually opened.
Piper 07 Whiskey. Contact Bradley. Approach on 1, 2,
There are the
7,
Long
8.
Island, Port Jefferson smokestacks again.
Decimal 8. 4. Piper
They're going to let us
0,
see SUNY Stony Brook. It's the tallest building in this area. It's a medical center, being its medical school. I don't see it, but I see the Smith Haven. Alright. Pretty cool looking. Okay, so we're going to start looking for the airport over in that direction. Off our nose, right over there. We'll start flying towards Oakdale, where I went to school at Dowling College. Start ourselves moving that direction. So down. We're going to start chalking back the throttle a little bit. We're going to come down to 1900, and we're going to just lose some altitude. Okay, we're losing our altitude. We're coming down at 90 knots, which is fine. Remember, throttle controls altitude. We chalk back to 1900. We're still going the 90 knots that we trimmed for. We'll go up and down a little bit, but we're going to stay right around 90. And now we're dropping altitude. So, throttle controls altitude. Elevator, pitch,
Piper 79
controls
Contact
speed.
Bradley. Approach on 1, 2,
Remember that
7
forever.
decimal 8.
1, 2,
important to
7
know that.
decimal 8. Piper 79 with that.
I don't even know what that is. I don't know what that is. That'll tell you how much fuel is in that engine, that tank, and that'll tell you how much fuel is in that tank. And we have full fuel. And where are the fuel? Right there? Oh, it should be right there. Nope, that's the exit. Sure. Okay. We should see the airport off to our right. There it is. It's just behind our window frame. So we are going in the right direction. So we're going to turn a little bit to the right. See that little point with a couple of little fingers coming out of it? That's what we're going to aim for. And that should start getting us close to the airport. Okay. start looking at nearest airport list. We want Long Island MacArthur Airport. We want to tune to ATIS.
Long Island Airport information. Sierra 1700 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility greater than 20 miles. Sky conditions clear. Temperature 16. 2.6. Altimeter 2992. Hills runway 6 in use. Landing and departing runway 6. The above aircraft stay direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have. Sierra. Long.
Alright. We'll request a full stop when we have a chance. So our next step, that's Lake Ronkonkoma over there. That body of water just right in the middle of it. We look off to the southeast of that, you'll see the airport. So we're going to start turning towards this area over here. That's the Connecticut River just off of our nose. We're still descending. We're just coming up on 4,000 feet. There's the airport right there. You can see the white dot that's telling it to us. In reality, what I might see is something more or less like a beacon. Red and green light is what I'd be looking for. Definitely not a red light. And we've chalked the power back. We'll chalk it back just ever so slightly more. I will say that this is almost where I want to contact them, so I will probably contact them in just a few seconds here. So we're gonna request a full stop.
Long Island Tower, Piper, November 158 Foxtrot Juliet is 8 miles northwest with Tango to land.
Piper, November 158 Foxtrot Juliet, Long Island Tower, enter L5, runway 6, altimeter 2992.
Alright, we're gonna acknowledge it.
Make L8, runway 6, Piper 8
I
Foxtrot
want us to
Juliet.
enter on a left base. We want to start slowing our speed down just a little bit for this descent. They want us on a left base, so 6 and 9 is 150. We want to turn to 150 degrees. 150 degrees. We're trimming the aircraft ever so slightly. We're going to enter this base. And we're on base leg right now. So we're on a long base. We're going to descend to pattern altitude of 1,000 feet as we get there, so we're going to pull back to 1,400. That should take us down. It'll let us be trimmed for about 75 knots. About, give or take. That'll give us a great descent. Very safe one at least. If we keep going straight, we should be on a 2-mile final about when we go and turn onto final for runway 6. 10 and 2/8 are the big runway. I believe that's the one that the airlines use. 33 left, 33 right, 15 left, 15 right are usually GA aircraft. 6 and 2/4 can be either or, depending on the size of the aircraft. Alright. We are creeping a little bit in towards the airport, so we're going to turn out.
Piper 8 Foxtrot Juliet, clear to land runway 6.
Okay, we have to acknowledge that.
Cleared to land.
That's a
runway
little bit
6,
too soon
Piper
for
8
that. That would
Foxtrot
never happen in real
Juliet.
life. Okay. Oh, there's a golf course down below us on the left. Look at it. Lots of sand traps. Should take you over Shinnecock. Show you that. So we are coming up on 1,000 feet or 1,100 feet, which will be the pattern altitude. But I think we're doing this one just perfectly as we did the last one. Oh boy, I love this. Not so bad. It's not a great sim, it's not a bad sim. It's definitely helping me tune my skills, so I'm still giving it a B+. And you can see the long runway. I think 6 and 2-4 are the long one. You can see it right there. Subway Patrol Hangar, if I can remember where that was. I haven't lived on Long Island for a very long time. Coming over Long Island Expressway, you can see all the cars on it. Look at it. It's got cars moving on it right now. It's Long Island Expressway, largest parking lot I've ever driven on it. 6 and 2-4 go across the runway. That should be 6 right there. And this is 3-3 left. That's 3-3 right. Left is the longer one, so 1-5 right, 1-5 left. Okay, we're going to add some throttle going up to 1900. We should start killing that descent rate. Let's get that speed up. Let's go back up to 2100 to live by little. So we can see where we're going. They've told us we are cleared to land, so we're about 3 mile base. I think it's about 3 miles. More like 2 miles. Maybe just about 1.5 miles. Start dropping some altitude here. So we're going to pull it back to 1900. Alright, I see that coming around. Alright, pull back the throttle ever so slightly more. Alright, so we have trim to neutral. Let's keep that speed up. I'm going to chock back to 1400. I'm going to start our turn onto final right now. I'm not going to add in any flaps right now because I feel a little bit far away to do that. We will put them on when we hit final. We should be turning a little bit too soon. Look at that. Way too soon. Also a little bit too slow. Bring it back up to 1400. And I wonder if they have the Sable Tower in here still. Oh, they do. I can see the tower from here. Wow. Right over the runway, in fact. Alright, there comes one level of flaps. Second, when the airport is made. And want to make sure that the nose is down. I trimmed it to neutral and I forgot to start pushing down on the stick. Definitely want to keep up that speed. Speed is important right now. Ooh, we're getting a little bit of frame drop. You can see how we need to pull up the speed just a little bit. We are going to land short. Our descent right is just a little bit too high. Nope. There we go. What we want to do is get to the eastern end of the field, or sorry, the western end of the field. That's where my FBO was, just to the north of where we are right now. Alright, we've got the runway made. We are falling like a brick. I'm gonna add full throttle just to get us over and to put the nose back down because we need that speed. And now we're gonna start squeaking it off. And we got it.
Piper 8, Foxtrot, Juliet. Turn next taxiway.
And we are going to turn on the taxiway that's, let's see, it should be right here. Okay.
Piper 8, Foxtrot, Juliet. Contact ground on 135.3.
And we will acknowledge the handoff.
On 3.5.3 for Piper 8, Foxtrot, Juliet.
Cleaned up the aircraft.
Long
And we have
Island
taxi to
ground.
parking.
Piper, November. On 5.8, Foxtrot, Juliet. Taxi to parking.
Piper, November, 158, Foxtrot, Juliet, taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Alpha 1, Alpha Sierra, runway 10 Whiskey.
Alright.
Taxiing to general aviation parking via taxiway Alpha on Alpha Sierra runway on Cedo Whiskey Piper 8
And we are going to park the
Juliet.
aircraft, put it away, and turn off the aircraft and end this wonderful flight that we took, reminiscent of the days I used to fly on Long Island. And of course I need to get my pedals out for next time. Now I would be parking over there by that hangar, well actually by the further one. If I was in Civil Air Patrol, I'd be parking up there. I think that's Halstead hangars, if they still exist. I don't know if anything's still the same, but this is where the terminal would be. I wonder if, yeah, the terminal would be over in that direction. I spent a lot of time at this airport, a lot of time. I wonder where they're going to have us go. It looks like they're going to have us cross the runway. So are they going to make us stop? I mean, they should. Is somebody coming in for a landing? Oh no, that Piper's different over there. Alright, so turning over here. They're going to have us drive down the runway. Runway 10 and 28. Well, that does sound right. I used to taxi down this runway all the time. But they'd be like, expedite it, and you'd be flying down the runway at like 35 knots. Oh, they are. Oh, God. They're going to put me right where I used to park. Oh, you got to love this. Really? 6 and 2-4? You could have just left me on that runway. Ugh. You could have told me to extend my landing run and turn off over there. Alright, so we are parking a little bit fast. Okay, good. Oh, boy. So we are going to where I used to fly out of. Metro Aircraft Rentals. It would be over there, just off the left strut. Liz Claiborne used to keep her aircraft here too, and I was on her G3, I think it was. Pretty cool. It's beautiful. A couple of us from Dowling got to go and see it. A few of us actually got to go up in it. Unfortunately, I shouldn't use the word us because it wasn't me. See where they're sending us to. So we would be parking over here. There would be, in between that long hangar and this hangar, would be a area where we could actually play. Oh, it's going to put us in a nice area. Okay. So, folks, that was my flight. We went from Long Island MacArthur Airport to Igor Sikorsky Airport in Bridgeport, Connecticut. It was a nice little flight. Got us a little bit of time for our solo. We're going to get that 3 hours. I got to get this. We're going a little bit fast here. Just trying to end this. So I hope you join me as I continue my training for my light aircraft pilot license, and then eventually my private pilot aircraft license. That's not ground loop. So where's it putting us? Is it putting us right there? Oh, it's just putting us right there. I wonder if they're going to show us startup and shutdown procedures at some point. And there are the... That's it. All right, we're done. Folks, like I said, thank you for joining me. And with that said, you all be safe out there. And be sure to tell me where to fly to next. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.